The raw honesty of the confession changed everything in an instant. The heavy wall Francis had built over 6 grueling months finally came tumbling down. Marcus didn't pull away. Instead, he stepped forward and met Francis with a deep, breathless kiss that tasted like absolute relief. "I love you too," Marcus whispered against his lips, a soft smile breaking through the lingering tension. Marcus gently admitted that he had deleted all the dating apps the exact moment they had first swapped phone numbers. That night, they finally shared the profound physical intimacy Francis had been so terrified of facing. But this time, it was entirely different. There were no flashing cameras, no explicit directors, and no calculated performances. It was just Francis, completely stripped bare, with safe in the warmth of Marcus's embrace. Francis let out a quiet sob, the tears flowing freely as he wept softly against his chest. For years he had traded his body for clicks, but this was the very first time he felt genuinely held. He truly believed he had finally found his quiet place, a sacred sanctuary, far away from the harsh glare of the blue studio lights. But even as they lay wrapped in the peaceful silence of the bedroom, a cold reality lingered. The crushing weight of his hidden online life remained a silent, invisible ghost haunting the corners of the room. He had found love under a false identity, and the beautiful paradise he was building rested on a foundation of omission. The truth was a ticking clock. A full year passed in a beautiful, blissful blur, and their connection only grew deeper. To celebrate their 1 year anniversary, Francis planned a spectacular, high-altitude date on a massive Ferris wheel overlooking the city center. As their private glass cabin slowly reached the very top of the wheel, the endless city lights below twinkled beautifully like a sea of diamonds. It was an absolutely perfect, magical moment. Looking at Marcus's smiling face, Francis decided that the time had finally come to be completely unmasked. He couldn't live behind the ghost profile for another day. He wanted Marcus to know every single part of him, fully confident that the deep love they had built over the past year could survive the weight of his reality. With trembling fingers, Francis pulled out his phone, unlocked the screen, and quietly handed it over to show Marcus his online world. "This is my vlog," Francis murmured, his heart hammering violently against his ribs. Marcus took the device, his eyes scanning the screen as he began to scroll. At first, there were glamorous shots of upscale hotel rooms and crystal clear luxury pools. But as Marcus kept scrolling, the feed quickly shifted to the explicit solo content that funded it all. Francis watched as the vibrant color drained completely from Marcus's face, the ambient light of the screen reflecting in his stunned, widening eyes. The man who had spent an entire year deeply loving a gentle, blurred stranger was suddenly forced to stare at a highly public spectacle. The air inside the glass cabin turned instantly arctic. Marcus slowly raised his head, the worn, loving smile Francis adored completely vanishing, replaced by a look of utter, heartbreaking disgust. "This is who I've been sleeping with?" Marcus whispered, his voice cracking under the weight of total betrayal. The words cut deeper than any blade, and Francis reached out, a sob rising in his throat as he tried to speak. But Marcus recoiled violently, treating his touch like absolute poison. High above the glittering city, there was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide from the wreckage of the truth. And Francis looked into the eyes of the man he loved and felt his soul completely fracture. By finally exposing his real life, he hadn't saved their relationship. He had permanently murdered the only version of himself Marcus had ever truly loved. Everything shattered,